I want to talk about my philosophy with handling conflict with colleagues and provide some examples or a example of a time where I had to handle conflict with a colleague. As a new manager, I had to learn how to deliver feedback to colleagues who were underperforming while finding the balance between making my performance expectations clear and maintaining a positive and trusted relationship. Regular conversations in the form of private one-on-one meetings was crucial to this process. The approach I like to take when delivering feedback to others is first being honest and frank about where someone has fallen below expectations or made mistakes. I try to deliver this message in a low-stress, private environment that's away from the earshot of colleagues, so never in a public or in a company meeting, always in private. And if we can get coffee or lunch or go for a walk outside, that's preferable. My next approach is being factual by providing real examples I can point to that support my claims. I try to make sure to outline the effects of such actions on the customer, team, or company, and I point out these real examples as evidence. The next part is crucial, which is listening and gathering insight from someone on the feedback I've given. Sometimes people aren't aware of expectations, resources available to them, or have stress and hardships outside of work that are personally affecting them. I take personal responsibility when expectations or resources aren't clear for someone I work with or manage. I look at all the information I've gathered and offer advice and clear, actionable steps they can take to improve their performance. Finally, I don't want to demoralize people and I want to have a positive relationship, so I make sure to remind them using other real examples of the great work they're producing. I once noticed a pattern with a colleague receiving negative responses from customers, so I looked more into their work and I noticed that while they were effective, their communication was terse and they often leaned heavily on directing customers to troubleshooting documentation rather than gathering more information from the customer. I reviewed and put together examples of their work and set a meeting outside of the office for lunch. I first let them know about some negative feedback from customers and some of my ideas and evidence as to why. I explained that while short communication is great because it gets information across quickly, to a customer receiving a message, the lack of salutation or short messaging can come across negatively without any vocal intonation or context. So it's a bad way to communicate over email or chat. I also explained that directing customers to troubleshooting documentation without full knowledge of the steps they may have already taken could frustrate customers who already tried to follow troubleshooting steps. From our conversation, I learned that they were struggling to keep up with the ticket volume and they didn't feel like they had time to craft custom responses to each customer. I also learned from the conversation that they weren't taking full advantage of some of the tools we had access to, so this gave me some ideas on how to help. I showed my colleague how to check a user's recent actions to see if they visited any documentation prior to opening a ticket. I also showed them how to use our ticketing system to create custom templates and draft custom responses for different customer scenarios while keeping the message friendly and informative. I made sure to point out examples of the good work they were doing and told them not to worry about ticket volume as so much as focusing on the quality of responses and how we can improve the process. After this meeting, this colleague was less stressed working in the ticket queue with a better understanding that quality work was more important than speed. Their messaging to customers was greatly improved with the use of the templating because they could easily customize while keeping the information that was relevant in the ticket. They even ended up offering a great contribution to the team by tracking common questions from customers, and they championed improving upon support documentation to answer common questions.